All right, and I understand that we'll get back to you, Mark, but first to cross over to the central business district of the city. Kimani Mbogwa is standing by to tell us the situation with the traffic. It's been how many hours? Nearly 2 hours since the ban was lifted by Governor Sonko. Kimani Mbogwa, good morning. And how is the city responding to the lifting of this ban on PSVs getting into the CBD?
Well, good morning, Sam. Now, I do not know what the question was yesterday, but the answer was not banning Matatus from the CBD. At least not in the way it was done yesterday, because yesterday was such a long day for most Nairobians. But this morning, the Matatus are back like they never left in the CBD. This is Koja Mosque. Remember yesterday around this time, we did a link from here and this place was empty. Remember me saying, I do not know what the NCC wants to do with that space because as of yesterday, they seem to be very serious about banning Matatus from the CBD. They did not want anything to do with them. And I did have a conversation last week with the CEC for Infrastructure, Mohammed Dagane, and the county administration. The senior administration seemed like they were very serious about this. But then yesterday, now, as we know it, we know that they did not have any plan of moving commuters from the terminal, from the new terminal that they had designated as of yesterday into the CBD. So yesterday was chaotic, but then now this morning you can see there's a semblance of normalcy back in the CBD. And it's raining now, so a lot of people are in a hurry to, when they get off the matatu, they're in a hurry to, take cover. But everything is back as it was before. And what I'm noticing now is that most matatus, it's a peak hour right now, and most matatus are just dropping passengers and really going back fast. As you can see, the ones that are going out right now, they're just dropping passengers and leaving. And it's a process and it's a conversation matatu people have been trying to defend themselves. They always say, and I always ask them this in traffic, are they the ones who are responsible for traffic? And they're always like, we're not the ones who are responsible for traffic inside the CBD because they do not stay in the CBD for long. All they want to do is pick passengers and leave. Earlier in the year, still had another conversation with the head of inspectorate there, Mr. Peter Mbaya, who said at that time, their plan was to allow only 2 matatus in the CBD per circle at a time. And now that plan seems like it makes sense now, because now taking all of them out of the CBD is going to lead us now into chaos like we saw yesterday. And now the general feeling from Matatu people is that they have been vindicated. And we've been here at Scotland and we've been speaking to some of them, and that is the feeling that generally they have. Let me speak to a gentleman over here who's just shukada Matatu. Niaje, unaitwa nani?
Niko poa, naitwa Kinovia.
Umetoka wapi?
Nimetoka huko chini.
Wapi? Umekuja na matatu?
Hapana, nimetembea.
Na jana ilikuwaje? Ukikompea jana na leo?
Jana kulikuwa kubaya.
Ulitembea kutoka wapi mpaka wapi?
Unatembea kutoka huko Mudhurwa mpaka hapa Koja. Ndio utafute nafasi.
Na sasa leo unaenda kuchukulia mata hapa Koja?
Si ndio hizi hapa mbele yangu.
Kwa hivyo hii ni poa kwako leo?
Hiyo ni poa, at least waanze kufikiria hivyo, lakini juu wametuchomea sana economy. Hiyo siku moja. Lakini hatufai kuwa na kitu kama hiyo tena.
Haya, asante. Haya, brother, umenyeshewa. Umetoka wapi? Hujatoka na umbrella nyumbani? Angalia huko watu wakuone vizuri. Haya.
Nilikuwa natoka Thika Road.
Umeshukishia wapi leo?
Umeshukishia Ngara.
Saa ngapi?
Saa tu.
Mbona wamekushukishia Ngara? Si wanafaa kuingia tao?
Hata sielewi. Sielewi.
Hiyo ni sako gani? Hiyo ni sako ya kutoka side gani?
Nini hiyo?
Hiyo sako yenye imekushukishia Ngara.
Hata sielewi matatu ni wapi.
Unajua kwenye unatoka kweli wewe?
Acha niende bwana.
Haya. Okay, it looks like he's drenched in rain actually, the guy. It's raining outside here, so it's a bit hard to get people because people are in a rush, crisscrossing. But you can be sure that things are back to normal. So if you wanted to do errands from home coming into the CBD, you can use a matatu. Of course, Governor Mike Sonko now admitting that their poor planning was on their part in terms of moving commuters from the terminal into the CBD. And yesterday, as you saw, there were so many people, and even those high capacity buses, I do not know if that is going to work, because moving 100,000 people at the same time into the CBD again, it's also going to be chaos. And the idea that seems to be working, and the one that Matatu people are for, is to allow them space to only drop and go. They do not have a problem with congestion in the city, but then they're saying, do not harass us, consult us, and let us know everything that you're about to do. Niaje brother, tutongeleshe kabla upite. Unaenda wapi leo?
Kupati.
Unaenda wapi? Unaenda wapi?
Naenda Parklands.
Na jana na leo experience imekuaje na matatu?
Okay, leo iko afadhali, haijakuwa mbaya. Jana nimeshikishwa Landimawe. Leo nimewekwa Railways. Yeah.
So experience iko
if you can hear me.
Sana.
What do you think about the ban?
Okay. There was need for some consultations, eh? Yeah, so our work consult. That's what they are doing now.
Okay, sawa. Okay, Sam,
well, Kimani, if you can hear me, I'm just wondering, well, the ban has been lifted. I'm just imagining if it was still in force and the situation of the rain is what it is now. I'm just wondering what it could have been. But I saw you last night on TV. You were reporting from University Way. It was way past 9 o'clock. When was the last time that that traffic cleared, just to get the full impact of this ban that is now no longer in effect?
Well, last night the gridlock was mostly inside the CBD. All the feeder roads into the CBD were blocked, including University Way, Wayaki Way, Uhuru Highway, and Uhuru Highway all the way to Haile Selassie. It was a gridlock because of the traffic mostly was coming from on this side of University Way where I was reporting from. The problem was at Fig Tree because Matatus were not going past Fig Tree, so it became like a new stage, so they had to drop passengers on the road. So when I went there after, remember yesterday it took us an hour and a half from the GPO roundabout to the University of Nairobi gate, and also I had to walk all the way to Fig Tree to see what the problem was, and I was shocked to find out that it was just because the Matatus were dropping passengers on the road, and it was causing a snarl up over there because there were so many of them. There were so many of them using one single space. So it had blocked the entire road. Kipande Road was blocked coming down. Professor Wangari Maathai Road was the better option to use. In fact, I remember I left with a person from that side of Kilimani, and they used that side of Professor Wangari Maathai, and they did not experience any snarl up because the problem was now coming inside the CBD because of Matatus using one space, and now it blocks the entire road. It took almost 3 hours after we left from 9 p.m. It cleared almost at 11 p.m. I could still see people. 11 p.m. I could still see people tweeting like they've just been released from the traffic at around 11:30. So it got to almost midnight. That's when now everything cleared up and the CBD was clear of cars. But it was something we've never experienced before, and it was only because Matatus in this new terminal, especially Ngara was the most affected. It affected most of the roads inside the CBD because of University Way, and it cleared around 12 a.m. in the night last night, Sam.
All right, thank you so much, Kimani Mbugua from the CBD, talking to us about the effect of that Matatu ban that is no longer in force after it was lifted earlier on. And of course, yesterday and this morning, we brought you the story of Diana Belter, who is a person living with disability and her difficulties getting to her workplace. If you have those pictures, because she has actually texted us just to indicate the impact of this ban, and after it being lifted, that's Diana Belter on your screen. And she has texted saying that at least I will be able to leave for work. That's Diana Belter from Nairobi. We had that story by Enoch Sikoli yesterday, expressing her frustrations and just how, what an impact it has had. And of course, there was another gentleman who was talking about not being able to get to Nairobi Hospital. He was limping and had to get to hospital to have his leg looked at. So, just the